So let's chat. Today I wanted to just have a little casual chatty video with you guys all about simplicity homeschooling. I'm calling it simplicity homeschooling because I'm not going to call it minimalism because I am far from a minimalist. Every homeschool is different. Every homeschool family does things differently. And comparing apples to oranges is never, ever beneficial. Sarah down the street, who has her kids in all of these piano lessons, karate lessons, Girl Scouts, dance, football, soccer, and they do art class and science every day, social studies every day, a government class and a nature class, and all of these field trips. If you compare your homeschool, which you may not be doing all of those things, to somebody else's, it's going to make you feel inadequate. It's going to make you feel like you're not doing enough. And it's going to be overwhelming to you if you try to do all of those. You are not that type of person. If you are not the type of person that likes to have a very full, busy schedule and you try to make your home and your homeschool and your life that way, it's not good for anybody. For me, personally, I have found that the best way for us is to keep things very simple in our homeschool. We don't do all of the things, and we certainly don't do all of the things in one day. My oldest daughter, who is 10, does language arts and math every day. One lesson in each one, not multiple lessons, not hours of lessons. That's it. My son does his playing preschool program, which takes maybe 20 minutes, and it's all activities, and it's fun, and he loves it, and math. Well, the only reason we do math with him, a separate math curriculum, is because he likes it. I don't fill their day with all of these extra exercises and that sort of thing. If there's an area that my child needs extra help on, sure, I will maybe give them a little extra practice in that, but I don't stress about it. We do science and history once a week. Each one once a week. I like to use other curriculums, but that does not mean that we do all of the curriculums in one day. If I am using playing preschool with my son, we usually, unless he's really wanting to do something else, we usually do not use letters and numbers the same day. If we're using letters and numbers, that is our school for the day. Same with our unit studies. If we are doing a unit study, that is our school for the day. We don't add in our other curriculum. We keep things very simple. My goal is for our homeschool to be 2 hours or less every day, and that's it. I don't want to be schooling all day. I don't think the kids need to be doing their lessons all day. My kids are not in a bunch of extracurricular activities. We don't have practices and games and recitals and all of that filling our days. We have very slow days. My daughter is doing Girl Scouts for the first time this year, and that is the only thing that she is doing that is extra. I watched my sister-in-law run herself ragged with putting her kids in all the things that they had a remote interest in. I think it's beneficial for kids to try different things. However, when you are so stressed out because you have games here, practices here, recitals here, and you can't, you only are one person running these kids everywhere, and you're trying to find rides for people because you can't do it all. I don't think that that's beneficial for anybody. For us, mine has always been, if there's an interest of my child, I want that child to think about that interest for a while before we just jump in to a class or a team or something like that. If it's something that they still want to do after a couple weeks of thinking about it, then yeah, we'll look into it. If it's something that was just kind of like a short-term interest that they aren't talking about anymore in a couple weeks, they don't have any interest in really committing to anything, then, we didn't waste our time and we didn't waste our money that way. So one of the first ways that you can simplify your homeschool is to try to focus on just the main, most important subjects. These are going to be different for every family, every child. For us personally, our main subjects are math, language arts, and reading. And so we kind of tend to focus on those, and anything else that we do is just extra enrichment. These subjects may change as the years go by. Every year they could be different. Don't worry about adding every single subject in. Don't worry about buying a curriculum for every type of subject that you can think of. There are very natural ways to learn other subjects. You don't have to fill your days with multiple curriculums for everything. An example of this would be art. The way that we approach art is very natural. It's very interest driven, very self-researched, that sort of thing. My daughter in particular is very creative, and she's always creating something, always doing some kind of art project. And so I don't use a specified art curriculum for her per se. I do actually have one. I bought one, but I found that just, following her interest in her creativity is so much better. It just makes it more fun for her. It makes it less of a chore or like something we have to get done. And it's just for pure enjoyment. I've also said before that we love unit studies. And the reason that we love unit studies so much is because it's literally like a very natural way of learning. It's discovering a topic. It's diving deeper into that topic and just having fun with it. My next tip is don't be worried about having a classroom. Having a classroom is fine. If you have a specific schoolroom, that's great. But if you don't have the means or the time or any of that, that's okay. We school at our kitchen table in this little corner, and while I do have some decorations up, it's not anything complicated, just a schooling at the table, a schooling on the couch, a schooling in one of the bedrooms. Don't feel like you need all of the school supplies. Keeping your home simple, tidy, organized is definitely beneficial for homeschooling. I have never bought counting bears in my entire life. For manipulatives, we actually use things from the pantry. Dried beans, cereal, fishy crackers, things we have there. Ours, art and craft supplies. We have the basic arts and craft supplies. We have construction paper and paper, scissors, some glue, and some paint and markers, colored pencils, crayons, that kind of thing. However, I don't buy every color of paint. You can mix colors to get different colors of paint. If they want orange, they can mix red and yellow to get orange. It's okay not to have all of the fancy wooden trays and baskets and all of these like really pretty wooden manipulatives. In my opinion, just to make something look pretty is not a good enough reason to have all of those things. See a lot of elaborate setups, and I want you to know that that's not always realistic. And it's okay if you don't have like this beautiful learning spread with all of these beautiful manipulatives and extras. And, all of that costs money, and all of that has to be stored somewhere. So keeping your manipulatives and the things that you have simple will help you in this area, and also be really good for your budget. If you need a sand tray and you can't find one, those are very expensive some places, and I don't really know why. It's literally a wood square. Try to use something you have laying around the house. See if there's an old box or container that a puzzle came in, or you can use a Tupperware even. Like, it still does the same concept and still is the same. It's just maybe not quote unquote pretty or Instagram worthy and that sort of thing. And I don't want you to get caught up too much in all of that. If you don't have the means to get those things, you shouldn't feel less than. I also noticed that some families really love to try to do all of these extra subjects when their kids are very young. I want you to breathe and help them to have less focuses, because if you are trying to spread their attention and their brain power too thin, it's going to be a lot harder for them to focus on those main subjects when their brain power is being split and they're trying to comprehend. Why not just wait until they are able to comprehend the information and retain the information instead of having to do it multiple times? Don't feel like you need to plan out your day with timestamps. Don't feel like you have to make these big giant checklists that you must complete every day. I urge you to try to ebb and flow with your day. Take it one day at a time. Give yourself some grace if you may not complete everything that you're thinking you should complete for that day. It's okay if some days you do less than others. It's okay if some days go smoother than others. I think that for me personally, I've never been a list person. Lists and schedules kind of stress me out a little bit. And so our homeschool is just taken day by day. I personally reverse record keep. So I will write down things that we actually accomplished for that day in my planner instead of things that I need to accomplish. So maybe try that out if you're stressed out by schedules and lists like me. I would say the only part that I have a hard time simplifying is our books. And I honestly don't want to simplify them. I think that kids can never have enough books, can never have too many books, because you can learn so much from a book. You learn how to read with books. You learn about other places with books. It opens doors to imagination and new ideas and new concepts, and it can teach diversity. We have a very full bookshelf, and we do a lot of read alouds together. Reading together is definitely one of the most beneficial things you can do in your homeschool. This video is just meant to encourage you to try to keep things simple. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to simplify things. If you are doing all of the things and you guys are loving it, great for you. I'm so happy, and I'm so glad that in this homeschool journey, we can all have different experiences, different homeschools, and all of that. It's so cool to see. Hope you guys enjoyed this little coffee chat with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If it's a homeschool day for you, I hope it goes smoothly, and I will see you guys in another video soon.